Okay, so I want to talk about the Raiders and how they are currently constructed, because I actually think there could be something really exciting about this roster next year. So first, we got to talk about their running game. So they just drafted Ashton Genty, a player who is, universally agreed to be an amazing running back. Like, even the people that are lower on him are still like, oh yeah, he's worth a top 10 pick. Like, he's that kind of prospect. Watch on this play. So I'm going to pause it once there is first real contact. I'm not sure if he got grazed a little bit earlier, but really this is the point of contact right here. Well blocked play. He's able to get 4 or 5 yards no matter what here, but now you're going to see why he got drafted 6th overall. Watch him just drive through, and it takes a lot of guys to bring him down, right? Think about that. It takes a lot of players to bring him down. It takes linebackers, it takes safeties, meaning that over the middle could be really open for the passing game. So then I think about a play like this, and obviously play action can help get linebackers out of position, but they also just have players who are great at going over the middle. First, Meyers, one of the real underrated over the middle threats in the league. Watch what he's going to do on this play. It's zone coverage. It's not even a play action, so you don't even get that benefit. However, when this play begins, you're going to see that right here, so ball is thrown, there's a window. Meyers did a very good job at being able to get to that spot quickly enough that the defense couldn't, recover in time. The ball does get there in time, and Meyers is going to be able to, even try to do his best to make some guys miss over the middle of the field. It's good stuff there by Meyers, right? But he is not the only player that can be effective at these over the middle type plays. Heading over here, let's talk about another player. So, okay, this is zone coverage once again against Carolina. And first things first, 3 receivers all towards the offense's left will be running those routes you see on the screen. There's also a running back on the offense's left. So that means there's only one other eligible receiver, right? Not counting the quarterback. That is what Brock Bowers is going to do. Hopefully that over the middle area can be cleared up. And again, if these linebackers are running and getting exhausted, tackling the running back over and over, it can only make it even easier, right? Well, watch how when this play begins, you're going to see that, hey, things work out. Bowers is open, able to gain some yards. But here's the thing. This isn't just any player with the ball. This is Brock Bowers with the football. Watch him juke out that linebacker. I mean, what a move that was by Bowers. And that's not a one-off, right? We know what he can do. He can get open over the middle, and he can be dangerous with the ball in his hands over the middle. And it's not just those two guys. Yes, Meyers is great. Yes, Brock Bowers is great. But they wanted to get even better at this type of stuff. Let me introduce you to that guy. That guy is known as Beck. He is the guy who they drafted also a little bit later in the draft after Ashton Genty. And watch what he's going to do on this play. As you see, ball is snapped, and you see right over the middle, there is, a window enough for him to make the play. He really kind of just quickly cut in over the middle. He is great at this type of stuff. So getting open over the middle, they have several guys who can do it. But again, similar to Brock Bowers, he's not just great at getting open. Watch how he's going to make a move and get even more yards. I mean, quite frankly, seeing all these guys and what they can do, you just can't help but think about how exhausting it's going to be trying to defend a team like this if you're a safety or a linebacker. How constantly you're going to be out of position, constantly you're going to have to make tackles. If it's a passing play, you probably won't get that play off. I mean, you might have to start subbing guys out if you're playing against the Raiders. And also, we got to talk about the quarterback, right? I mean, ultimately, none of this matters if you can't get them the ball. Okay, some of it matters. The running game still matters, right? But a lot of this would be cut down if you don't have great quarterback play. And I think Gino Smith is one of the more underrated players in the league. And I think this play is, again, one of the small things that he can definitely do, where this is going to be a zone coverage concept. And essentially the way it works is they have one player who's going to be running, just trying to get into a gap in coverage, more underneath. At least that's what it looks like. But usually what happens there is a linebacker is going to step in and cover up that route. That's the second closest toward the sideline. So then what you do is you have another receiver kind of run past it. And essentially if the linebackers pay attention to the more underneath route, then over the middle should be open. It takes a little bit of, the quarterback has to read the play and has to know where to get the ball. However, you're going to see Gino Smith reads the play, and despite the fact that San Francisco plays this really well, he still times it perfectly, makes a very good throw, and they're ultimately able to get that completion. So you have a quarterback who can make these throws, a running back who's going to take attention away, and receivers who are great at not just making the grab over the middle, but doing stuff after they make the grab. So as a whole, I just find this strategy really, really interesting because, okay, listen, For this to be awesome, we are relying on 2 rookies to step in right away and be great. And that doesn't always happen, right? So there is the inherent, okay, will this all work out the way we expect it to work out on paper? Not to mention a quarterback who's going to be, playing in it for, with a bunch of guys he's never played with before, all of that stuff. But let's just, for the hypothetical, say, what if this does all work out? Then what would this look like? Because I don't know if we've seen a team quite load up on over-the-middle type players like the Raiders. I'm trying to think of an example. Don't get me wrong. There's been teams that have been great at that, like the Lions, like the 49ers, right? But has there been a team that's really kind of loaded up there? It's really interesting. Now, I will say there is a potential drawback with this strategy. There is, and that drawback is if you do this consistently, the issue is you're not getting as many explosive plays unless guys can make guys miss. Which, okay, that'll happen, but like you're not going to get in theory as much as if you were a downfield passing attack, right? Like Cincinnati's going to get more explosives. So that's kind of the disadvantage. Which, of course, is fine if you can have a high enough efficiency to still be effective. The Kansas City Chiefs were very bad at downfield passing, but still had a very good offense in terms of points per drive by just consistently moving the ball down the field. But there is obviously the downside, which is if you have to run a 13-play drive for a touchdown instead of a 6-play drive for a touchdown, well, there's a higher likelihood of something going wrong, right? You have a holding penalty or something like that, and now can throw you off, or a turnover, obviously. There's just a higher percentage of something like that happening and going wrong. And just also like, okay, if it's 3rd down and 11, do they have someone who they can trust that can just beat a corner on the outside? I think you do. I think Brock Bowers is that guy. I know he's a tight end, but like whatever, he can win. So I think they're actually okay there. And again, I think that some of these other receivers will still be able to be competitive in those situations as well. So I just find this whole situation very fascinating. And to be honest, I like this idea. I do. Every philosophy is going to have its drawbacks, but like, I just feel like it's going to work. I just feel like this is something that's going to be effective and it's going to be helpful for a team to try and win football games. At the end of the day, why not try and be great at something? And that's what the Raiders are doing, and I'm very excited to see how this is all going to work out. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all of this. I will mention before I go, I do have a movie channel. If you want to hear my thoughts on movies, you can check that out. The link is in the description below. Jackson Kruger Movies is the name of it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.